Hi, it's Professor Kim Nelson with the Jewelry Design Department at FIT. Another tutorial for basic Rhino modeling or JD138. Doing the final ring project, talking about ways to place detail on surface. The last tutorial did orients on the surface, but the results were too unpredictable to be useful. So, I'm going to show you how I would solve that problem. I need to offset this curve so that it's big enough to contain my whole object. Now, I'm actually kind of a misnomer. It's big enough to contain the whole object if I make a surface out of it and then I untrim that surface. Yes. Okay. So, in fact, yeah, I'll let that stand. I'll let that stand for now. Actually, I'm going to keep the surface. Throw away the curve. Transform, copy, grid snap. Give each one of these its own surface. And back to our orient on surface command. I'm probably going to want these on a separate layer from those surfaces. Thinking ahead, always thinking ahead. I'm going to select both of those objects. Flow along surface. Quad. Okay. Oh, I don't want flow along surface, my bad. Orient on surface. Base point. Quad. Quad. Surface to orient on. Now I want rigid. Okay? Okay, copy equals yes. Intersect. .5. Keep the scale the same. And okay. So that's where it decided to put that surface for me. Orient on surface, quads again. We need our intersect. Scale factor 0.7 now. And near. Okay. So there are two. I'm going to take this surface right here. border. Pull. Okay. Now that's what it wants to believe is a good pull surface, a good rendition of this on that surface. I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I'm going to use flow surface at the end of the day to put this where I want it, with as little distortion as possible. That's the goal. Transform, rotate, intersect, mid. Gonna pull it straight down. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Duplicate boundary. Pull that to the surface. Copy clipboard. And put it back where it was. Straight line. As close to the bottom as we can put it, practically speaking. Maybe a little higher than that, apparently. You can't hit the edge. Delete that. Pull this. Use it to trim that away, that away. And I can use these curves to turn this into a bi-rail suite. Oh, I see the problem. Once again, finding problems I had not counted on. I'm not going to want to have a poly curve anywhere here. Surface tools again. Oh, I may as well grab one iso curve down the middle here. Just so my surface matches as closely as possible. Because I have a seam, I have to keep joining it and rebuilding it. Fine. And surface from curve network. Actually, that last one is not really a true representative. So grab these three. Hopefully that's respectable. That'll work. Okay. And bring this back. So this surface is a fairly reasonable facsimile of this surface here. However, I need it to be a real good facsimile. So I want to check a couple things. I'm going to get rid of the curves that built it, just because I have enough confusing curves in this. All I need is a surface. Check my direction with an iso curve. Horizontal. Horizontal, that's good. Check my point count, F5. 10, 13, 3, 3. That's what I'm going to rebuild this one to. Okay. Might ask why that one. I'm going to get rid of these. I have to put them back on because I did not record history when I did it the first time, and I need to have history recorded. Okay, so bring back my surface. The two objects I want to orient on surface. Transform. Turn on history. Transform. Orient on surface. Base point. Quadrant. Quadrant. I don't know why that suddenly stopped. Okay, you might be having a hard time because all transforms are C-plane dependent. And I'm picking points on a C-plane that doesn't make any sense. To a front C-plane, those are in the same place. And if you don't understand that, your homework is to figure out why that is the case. Why would these 2 points be in the exact same position on the front C-plane? There, yes, it sees me now. Prompt, prompt, rigid, yes. Intersect. 0.5. Okay, I have no faith that my history was retained. No, that got busy enough at the end there that I'm sure I forgot my history again. Also going to go wireframe. This. Yeah. History was retained. Very cool. Okay. Now I'm going to use history again. Flow along surface. And that gave me a much better result. Okay. Now the reason for all of the history is that when I move this, now, it'll move that one. And that's important because if I want to modify this now with a cage edit, I can. For example, hang on. No, sure, I'll keep it simple. I could grab this series of points. Okay. And I could non-uniform scale them up a little bit. Take this row of points out. Scale those up a little bit. Take this row of points out. And scale these up a little bit. Actually, I'll scale these up a fair amount. Okay. Now, when I come back and look at my ring, this side, and it's interesting because it actually flipped it, and that's something I should have kept an eye on. It wouldn't have made a lot of difference. I'd have just worked the other side. Still doesn't make a lot of difference. I can mirror this over. If I wanted to duplicate exactly what I have down here, I would simply grab this mirror, copy equals no. It'll yell at me that I broke history. No, it didn't, but I did break history. I believe that should have broke history. Yes, see, that broke history. But I was done with it anyway. But that would allow me to modify and sculpt this leaf in a very direct and subtle way. Okay? So, same thing going forward with the rest of these. And I don't have time to do a really nice job with it. I will duplicate the border and pull it. See what I get as a result. Okay. Something pretty useless indeed. So I may want to find a different way to get that where I want it. And what would some of those ways be, since we're having such a good time? Part of the problem is the surface is too far up. It's embedded itself into that, so I really can't use it. So start with something I can actually use. intersect 0.7 near snap, so we can grab onto that. Enter. Okay, and then check and make sure my history is good. Yes, it is. Okay, so now my challenge is how to get something equivalent to this surface down onto that surface, and I'm going to do a same thing we did last time. Transform, rotate 3D. We've not done this before. When you have a three-dimensional object like this in three-dimensional space, you can create your own axis. So I want it to rotate along this axis. Once I've got that, I can rotate it until it pretty much bisects into that surface in a good way. Now I can duplicate the border and pull it. That still has a pretty crazy amount of distortion going on as it comes around that corner. Sad but true, it does. So what's another way I could do this? Solid sphere. Analyze mass properties, area centroid. Gives me the center of this surface. Solid sphere, center radius, point, mid. Okay, I only did that so I would know the size of the sphere, because if I repeat the command, it's on the command line. I'm going to grab this dot. I'm going to pull that to the surface. Okay. Sphere, center radius. I'm going to get an intersection between this. I'm going to measure the length of the sides, 4.8 more or less, between 4.8 and 4.9. Okay. Make a patch. Set a C-plane to that patch. Project this curve to that C-plane. Okay. It's this curve right here. How big did I say that was? 4.8 to 4.9. So, going to offset this curve. 2.45. Both sides. Okay. Going to draw a. Going to take this plan, which is going to turn it all crazy. There's a reason, though. curve perpendicular point. It won't allow me. I can make it approximate at the point. Okay. Both sides. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to oh, shoot. Problem is I have two of these. Okay. I'm trying to get back to where. Thank you. Yeah, because I need this one that's on the C-plane. Alright, fine. Perpendicular from curve, both sides. It's one of the most annoying things about this command in Rhino 5 is that you have to do both sides from the very beginning. Somewhere in the center there is good enough. Offset both sides. Okay. Trim that off. Trim that off. Do a fillet. Throw that. Well, we'll hang on to that actually. That'll be a nice central cross section. Okay, so I've one more. I'm going to rebuild all of these curves. It's 2-1. Make them all straight. Now it'd be just lovely if I could project those onto here without tremendous distortion. But unfortunately, that isn't going to work. So how about pull? Okay, so this is a very real problem. When you're going to depend on flow along surface, as we learned in the last exercise, the more distorted, the less basic rectangle your surface is, the more trouble you're going to run into. What else do I have? What other tricks do I have up my sleeve to defeat this evil problem? Solid. Extract surface. Copy equals yes. Trim. Actually, okay, trim. Surface tool. Pull back to trimmed edge. Surface edit tool. Untrim. Not a nice thing to deal with. Okay. Now let's try that patch we made before. Let's try untrimming it. Problem is its orientation. is all wrong. Our orientation needs to come along this curve. And it doesn't. It runs completely contrary to that curve. I have been accused of being stubborn. Alright. One more try. Pipe. Diameter 4.8. Intersect. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Explode. I only want these. The rest can go. Join those together. That's actually a fairly intelligent thing that I have. I would love a really smart way to handle this. I don't have one. I'm going to look at this as straight on as I can. Maybe getting those two dots kind of aligned will help. C-plane to camera, plan. Curve perpendicular. Here. Curve perpendicular. Here. Restore my view. Oh yeah, I can restore my view, it won't matter. Grab these two curves, project them. Okay, clearly got something wild and crazy. Explode this. Okay. Use that center line to trim away this. Extend by arc to point. Down to the end. Grab this, pull it, throw away the original. That will do. I'm going to get a little bit of distortion, but it's acceptable. Trim. 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 Okay. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. I'm going to make a copy of this. keep it safe, and then I'm going to trim it off as well so I can use it as a section. Add it to the purple. Add it to the purple layer. Paste back in the original, lock it down so it doesn't get hurt again. Alright. Back to my top C-plane. My camera is completely mangled. Can you see that? This is top C-plane, and it is just hopelessly messed up. Okay. Nothing I can do will fix it, except for typing in plan, which I'll turn it into a top view for just a minute, and then restoring. There we go. So I need to make a surface out of this. I can do a bi-rail sweep, or I can do a surface from curve network. It doesn't really matter. It would be nice if the cross sections, if it stayed in touch with the other surface better. So I'll grab a couple cross sections. I'll pull them. And resweep. Remember, the key to this process was the sphere drawn to the same size as the original surface, because that sphere is going to be the same size because it's a ball wherever it cuts in or pierces anything. So it's a good way to get an approximation. It's not precise. There will be distortion, but it won't be bad. Shouldn't be bad. Famous last words. That's good. I have no complaints with that surface. That is certainly tidy enough. Throw away the curves. Bring back my surfaces. Okay. Now I have a problem in that if I can change this. I can. Okay. F5. Right now it's at 1723.33. Now I'm actually going to rebuild it because see how dense the points are here and how loose they are there? I want a consistent thing. The other surface was pretty consistent when I made it. This one is not. Okay, I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to go 2323. I shouldn't have lost much. No. And it's easy to work with. I'm going to check and make sure the direction of these surfaces is the same. Horizontal isocurve, horizontal isocurve. Excellent. I'm going to rebuild this one. Same thing, 2323.33. Okay. And now, whoops, I should be able to flow along surface with history. And I will get some distortion, but it won't be nearly as bad as I would have gotten before. Okay? And once again, my history is intact. So if I want to change this, I can. Okay? Let's say I don't like the way this is kind of rotated right now. I feel like it's tilting too much this way. Now I have to remember that it may not go the direction I think it will go. It may go the opposite direction. Okay. No, that was right. That was the right direction. Now I left the corner of the surface here. That could cause some real problems. I have to remember that I can't leave my surface. But okay. And I'm still not getting terrible distortion. I could do something that is in between there a little bit. Okay. And once again, I could do anything I want as far as cage editing is concerned. Now, it would have been very wise for me to cage edit that before I rotated it. If I wish to cage edit it now, I do face a challenge, and that is the cage editing is C-plane dependent. Therefore, I need a C-plane that lines up to this object now. And the way we do that, if you'll recall, is ellipse. Ellipse always allows us a directional curve. So I can go into the center, pull down the center line of this. Doesn't matter whether it's a horizontal ellipse, vertical ellipse, narrow ellipse, fat ellipse, big ellipse, small, doesn't matter. It's just that the ellipse allows you to have a direction, and you can assign a C-plane to it. Like so. And now that I've done that, if I assign a cage edit, the only thing I have to make sure is that I don't keep world. I set it to C-plane. Okay? And oh, why not? I'll keep the 777 arrangement. Okay? And then anything I would like to do with it, I can do with it. If I would like, let's raise the tips of both of these. Okay. I can hit vertical, yes. I've never showed you that before. But instead of doing a vertical C-plane, I can just click vertical, yes. I like you to learn to use your C-plane, so I don't show you that until the very last week of class. Sorry. Now if I move it, though, that's not good. If I move it, it will actually lift it free of the surface, and I may not want that. I probably want to keep it on the surface, which means what I really want to do is non-uniform scale it. You'll see there's a display glitch. We don't care about that. There. And you can see it updated here. In fact, if I wanted to, let's do something dramatic. I could actually take these, non-uniform scale them down, always going from the bottom so that it goes down into the metal, into the ring shank. If I do it from the top, I can actually peel this off the top of the ring, which I don't want. This may be reverse direction, so I have to watch what I get. Okay. Yes, it is the opposite of what I expected. And here, I can't just mirror it up there. So I would want to be aware of that, but I'm okay with it for now. I'm going to grab these on this side. Grab an extra row, actually. Non-uniform scale. Bottom point. Lift. Remove this row points. Non-uniform scale. Lift. Remove that row points. Non-uniform scale. Lift. Okay. Grab the top two tiers of points. Move them. Okay, so it looks like I am rotating this, curling this leaf over a little bit. Now it's not giving me exactly the result I want, and I'm getting some very strange peeling going on here, which I would have to address. But still, you know. So you do have, and if I wanted that to be mirrored the other way, I might be able to mirror it here and have it update on top. Looks like it's going to work. Yes, it did. Okay, so I would have to bring those points down. It's not a hard thing to do, but I would have to change the points and pull them down in. But there you go. I'm going to stop this video now. We've spent enough time with it. But I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching.